Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the State Sports Centre here at Homebush. I'm Mike Gilliam. Joining me tonight, Greg Wiley. Greg, how are you?
Oh, well, thanks, Mike.
And we've got a six-fight card tonight on culminating in the big world title fight featuring Alex Toohey. We're looking at our fight card for the night. Brendon Sheldon will be coming up against Malcolm Hanning. And then we've got Mark Tyson versus, mate, all yours.
Glen Bargagry.
Oh, beautiful. And then Mick Dagghi versus John Moore in the super light welterweight title bout. And, of course, Steve Vick versus Tony Lapia coming up as well. And then Grant Barker will face Mike McDonald from Canada in the heavyweight Commonwealth title fight. And now culminating the card with Alex Toohey versus Kash. They say the Flash. Gill, maybe we might see some Flash.
We'll see some excellent stuff from this guy. He stopped Alex in their last encounter, so Alex has got something to prove tonight.
Well, Alex did have to go overseas to fight him, didn't he?
That's right. Now Kash Gill is fighting Alex on his own home turf.
And we've got our first fighters coming into the ring. Brendon Sheldon making his way in. 59 kilos. 3 fights, 2 wins, no KOs. So doesn't hang on to a big punch, this boy.
No, that's usually an indication. No KOs, no punch.
Once again, New South Wales regulations require the wearing of shin and feet pads. As Malcolm Hanning makes his way in, 57.2 kilos, 5 fights, 4 wins, has a KO. So maybe, just maybe, he's got a punch inside him that can take care of this fight. As you can see, the crowd there just very, very close to the ring. It is very, very close all round in a sense. And he makes his way into the blue corner. So Malcolm's going to be coming out of that blue corner. Very light on in the upper body, but very thick through the leg department. And he is looking for a good kick fight, I think. He's more of a kicker than he is a puncher. We've got ourselves 5 1.5-minute bouts with the 1 minute time frame in between. Ready to get things underway, mate. Crowd's still filing in here. So hopefully by the big fight it'll be a little bit larger than what it currently is. Okay, the bell sounds and we're away on this 6-fight card, and the boys are straight into it. Straight away on the attack. We've got him going straight at Brendon, straight on top of Malcolm, and Malcolm's had to backpedal a little.
Brendon off to a very aggressive start.
He wants to get in there very early and try and take care of this very quickly, and I just don't like his chances.
Malcolm Hanning, he's showing a good left foot roundhouse kick. Maybe that'll come into effect later on in the fight.
Now, these boys are expending a lot of energy. This is not, I don't think, a very wise way to start the fight off for both fighters, really. 5 rounds to go, or in completion of this fight, and they're straight at it.
They are straight at it. I mean, maybe it's a little bit of nerves. They might settle down the second round, but looking at these guys, they're small, and these small guys tend to move faster than the bigger ones, and they do seem to have quite a bit of energy to expend.
Well, it's become a bit of a slugging match at the early parts of this round. The boys are really sort of just laying into another. There's no style or anything. They're just straight into one another. And definitely Malcolm's not as big as Brendon is up top.
No, that's right.
Going to be a bit, I don't know if he's lost his national pride there. He's got USA written on his shorts. I don't know if he sort of wants to be a US citizen or whatever, but unfortunately he's here in Australia, here at Homebush, and a couple of those lefts and rights got right through to the fence there.
Finding the spot quite nicely.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's brought a few hair locks undone there.
These guys, yes, they just seem to be throwing it anywhere, and if they hit, it's a bonus.
Completion of round 1 there. Very even round, I would have to say, as round 1's out of the way on this 5-round bill. As we have the first of our lovely ladies enter the ring, and I'm sure that you'd like to enter into a date with this young lady, mate.
Most certainly.
Well, make a great runner.
Having the Powers insignia on her front. Of course, Powers, the big sponsor of kickboxing.
A lot of power there, mate. A lot of power. We're going to see some power a little later on tonight, especially when we see that world title fight between Kash Gill and Alex Toohey. Mate, I'm going to put you on the spot very early in the card. These two boys, you've already called it once. Kash Gill's faced him once and beaten him. What's going to happen this time round?
Well, judging by the form Alex Toohey's in, it should be a very, very close encounter. Over in England, Alex Toohey went over there to wrestle the title from Kash Gill, and of course it was on Kash Gill's home turf, and that was in Alex's, wasn't in his favour. But I think it might be a different story tonight.
Well, Sheldon and Hanning are back in centre ring, and they are straight into it. Hammers and tongs. These two are just trading blows. That was a slip. Won't be counted as a knockdown, Greg. These two boys aren't going to last 5 rounds at this pace.
Well, was that a slip, or was he just running out of energy? Does he have enough energy to stand up? Yes, he does. He's moving in now.
He's got a very poor defence, unfortunately, for the boy. He comes in very open-chested, drops his hands down low, and just like that, walks straight into a right. And then a lovely right kick as well.
As Malcolm Henning, he should be using that more. Of course, he tends to rush in and use his hands.
Sheldon snuck a little right in there, but Henning's prepared to take a couple here and there. He seems very fit, Malcolm Henning. Two boys just sort of not even sorting one another out. It's just going to be a war of attrition, this one. These fellas too, you see the pads on the big boys and they don't come right up to their knees. The pads on these little fellas come right up to their knees. A little bit extra protection for the guys.
They look like two gridiron players out there, don't they, mate?
Sheldon's got Henning back in his own corner there for a moment. He should have kept him there, but he just didn't have the strength to keep him there. Very wayward punches coming from Sheldon, so it's going to be tough for him to try and arrest this problem that he's got. Henning's coping with it quite well at the moment.
Referee having a word to Sheldon, telling him to throw leather instead of barging.
Okay. I think you'd have to give that to Henning, definitely so. As our brunette arrives in the ring to give us round 3 coming our way. Of course, we've got 3 ring girls for tonight, so that's going to please the crowd, I have no end. And also flatten the imagination, or harden the imagination, whichever way you like to see it. But the crowd is very quiet tonight. I think they're trying to save themselves back for the big fight that's going to come their way.
Mate, when the big one begins, it'll lift the roof, the roar from the crowd.
Mate, just looking up to the roof here at the moment, that's a bloody big lift if you can lift that roof. It's very high, the roof here, ladies and gentlemen, so I don't know, Greg, about that one. Maybe they could lift it.
Oh, well, just a little bit.
Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. The boys are back in centre ring. Referee's just giving a couple more instructions. He hasn't been happy with the way I'll get it right this time, the way these two boys have been fighting. But let's see how it pans out this time. Maybe we can get back to a little bit of kickboxing. A little bit of a roundhouse kick there. Malcolm Henning. Oh, good left and right. Sheldon keeps walking up. Slip. I'd call that a slip.
A slip, yes. Sheldon's best defence, of course, is his jaw. He blocks very well with it, and he uses his chest very well as a blocking implement too.
I just can't see the kick counts on this fight and whether they're in vogue at the moment, but I assume they are. Well, the way these two boys are kicking it.
They are. They're getting their required 8 kicks in.
That's a throw. It's a bit of a wrestling throw from our World Championship Wrestling days, I think.
The old Sam Menninger days, mate.
Mario Milano was the man we used to watch a little bit of. He's the only one I can remember. A couple of rights stuck in there by Henning, and Sheldon felt those, but now he's got him into the neutral corner, and Sheldon blazing away. Henning backing up. Sheldon's all over the top. That's a definite knockdown. This will be a stand count. And whether he can get up into the neutral corner goes Sheldon, and he is hurt. Henning is hurt.
You've got to give it to Sheldon. He's tough.
Oh, mate, he's taken a lot to get in there, but when he has got in there, he's stolen all the money. We're just seeing now, Henning doesn't really look too pleased about coming out to face Sheldon again. You don't think he's going to go on. I think the referee might stop this. He's given him more than their standard 8 count, and I think we might see a completion of this fight. Yeah, I think he's got to call this quits.
Well, the doctor coming over.
He's got to call this quits. Yes. Absolutely.
Well, Sheldon.
But we've got our next fight coming up. Mark Tyson, no relation, mate. You'll see that by the nature of the skin colour when he comes into the ring. And, of course, we've got Glen. Oh, mate, this is your go.
Bargagry.
Oh, mate, you save me every time. As out, Brendon Sheldon holds up his trophy. Super featherweight title there to Brendon Sheldon. He'll be very happy about that, and I'm sure he'll sink a few powers tonight. Well, as you called it, mate, that man with that funny name. But, Mark Tyson, very famous name. I wonder if he's got hand grenades inside him like Mike Tyson, I should say, has.
Mike Tyson, well, as you'd said,
a little bit of difference in weight there, mate. 68 kilos, 4 fights, 4 wins. But look at that, he might have the punch in him, mate. 3 KOs.
A baby Mike Tyson.
Yeah, could be the pocket rocket. We'll have to wait and see. This is 5 1.5-minute bouts. Or rounds, I should say, not bouts, with the minute break. And in comes Glen, 70.1 kilos. 3 fights, 3 wins, no KOs.
No KOs.
Well, we've both seen Bargagry fight before, and a pretty impressive fight it was from him, but tonight's going to be a different matter for him.
Yes, that last time we saw him fight, it was a little bit of a mismatch and didn't really test Glen. This might be just that test he needs.
Well, we're looking for a big hit from Mark Tyson. And maybe he's got those hand grenades that Mike possesses. Maybe he could sort this out very early on in the piece. I don't know. Very high guard from Glen. He holds his hands up very high, whereabouts Mark is very much a low guard fighter. I don't know how that'll work. Good roundhouse there. I just don't know how that's going to work as we wear into this fight. You see the guys with the high guard tend to drop them as we get further into the fight. And it could happen such to Mark. The boys are just feeling one another out here virtually. Just checking out the style. A couple of kicks coming in. He's just swapped for a very different camera angle then. Oh, that was a good tag. He tagged him with that left then. Tyson walked straight into that.
Nice left and right.
Trying with the uppercut. He's tagged him a couple of times in this first round, so Mark's going to have to work a little on his guard. He's going to have to keep those hands up there a little bit too low as we complete round one.
But that is an interesting point. These fighters who come in with the low guard are leaving themselves open for a big hit, and those ones who have their guard high up in the earlier on in the fight, they tend to drop it later on in the fight as their energy zaps.
Well, Steve Skibberus, who was in charge of Malcolm Henning in the bout earlier, will be looking for Glen to try and resurrect the pride of his gym at the moment. And a lot rests on Glen at this point in time. As we come out for round two. Glen's still got that high guard. Mark Tyson is just sort of trying to combat it. Oh, snuck that through then. But these two boxers are well matched, actually.
Working on the thigh region there.
Greg, I've noticed a lot of kicks do land on that thigh region. These boys must have a lot of hamstring bruising at the completion of a fight.
They do a lot of work around the thigh region, so they can absorb quite a bit of punishment around that area, but the idea of hitting around the thigh region is to work on the legs and make the legs, so they don't have any legs to stand, therefore the fight's over.
Yeah. But is there any sort of weight training that they can do to sort of like strengthen that area?
Oh, just little squats and of course the best way to get harden them up is to take kicks on them.
Hard way to do it. Hard way to do it. Well, the boys are still working one another out. Oh, good right. Great right from Tyson. He actually wore the kick, but he gave a beautiful right over the top. But right over the top of Glen's guard. Bargagry's going to have to work this one around. Got him back in the blue. Missed with that uppercut. A little bit of a combination, left and right coming in now. And Mark Tyson is back and he's hanging on for grim death at the moment. Glen snuck quite a few amount of those punches right through the guard. And as I said earlier in the fight, very low guard hanged on by Mark Tyson, and that's going to be tough for him. Okay, completion of the round. Boys go back to their corner. Glen in the blue. Of course, Mark in the red. Alex Tilley up against Kash, the Flash Gill. Second time round. Tilley fought Gill in England. Lost that one. Hopefully, as you said earlier, home turf here at the Homebush Centre will change all that. Centre ring. As we complete, or start, should I say, round three of our 5-round fight tonight. Mark Tyson ended up in the receiving end latter part of that last round, so he's going to have to watch it. Because Glen will be coming on mighty hard.
As Glen's got the reach, he should be using it a little more. He's got a great guard. He holds his hands up high, and of course it's very hard to get a hit in with a guy like that. There's a nice reverse turning kick from Mark Tyson. Of course, it didn't hit the mark, luckily for Glen.
Very few boxers can get that actually into gear and make it work for them, can they?
Well, usually reverse turning kicks are used when the other fighter's dead on his feet, and it's usually a finishing off kick. Because if you get hit by one of those, it's usually...
There's a lot of body weight behind it, isn't it?
A very, very, very powerful kick.
The boys are working it around. Still, I'd say at this point in time that they're looking at Glen Bargagry being out in front on points. Mark Tyson's taken a lot of punches to get in close. He's got to get in close because of Glen's reach. Glen has a much superior reach, and that's going to be tough for him. Nice. Tagged him then, didn't he, with that right. Short right, followed by the left and right combination, and he's got him backpedaling again. And he's going to make our man from the blue corner see red, I have a feeling.
And Mike Tyson, he has to get away from this guy. But
and I wish it was Mike Tyson there.
Oh, sorry, Mike. Yes, I got Mike Tyson on the brain. Yes,
he might like to think he was.
Well, Mike, nice start with them, mate.
We're up to round 4 in this exciting contest.
Round 4.
Super welterweight title over 5 1.5-minute rounds.
Once again, the fight's starting. It's just the same scenario as the first 3 rounds.
That's right. Glen thrusts that front kick out there and then moves in with the hands.
He looks a much bigger man, doesn't he?
He's a much bigger man, yes. That reach is definitely in his favour.
Good couple of combinations there from Mark. He's coming in. Tyson's coming in, trying his hardest to get in there. Tries a little round his kick, but it doesn't work for him. You can't blame him for trying, mate. He's tried everything at the moment.
What I'd suggest him to do is just get away from him, move in, have a go, and then move out as fast as he can. This is what he's got to do with this big guy.
Mark's much wider through the shoulders, much broader across that area.
Yes.
But unfortunately for him, he just lacks that little bit of reach.
No, but I've seen some smart fighters over the years with, the smaller guys moving in and...
good left. Strong left and right. I think we're going to have a stand count here. Maybe no. Tyson gets out of there. Very well done. Oh, he just wore a big right too.
He had to wear a few to get out of there.
He did well there. I thought he was in trouble, but come good. It's amazing how a fighter can soon be in trouble and then all of a sudden he's on the offensive. And
he's lucky that kick from Glen missed because he had Mark lined up there, and of course Mark just moved his head back in time.
The spring's gone out of Tyson's feet now. He is just on for him. A standing count, I'd say. Put him in the neutral corner, says the ref. He's got to give him a standing 8. Bargagry just sucking in those big breaths as the bell sounds for the completion of round 4, and not a second too soon, I'd say, for Mark Tyson.
He's a very popular number 5.
Oh, absolutely. I know that Steve Skiveris is a very enthusiastic trainer and he works very well with his boys, and I'm sure that he was a little disappointed in Malcolm Hanning's loss earlier on, but this will make up for it if we can see Glen come through and take tonight's bout. I think Mark's looking at trying to stop it here. He's got to try and put him down on the canvas.
He's a desperate man at this stage of the fight.
Big couple of blazing punches to start from both boys. A lot of leather on both of those. I think Mark knows it too, mate. He's going after it straight away. He's walking right up, and he is trying his hardest.
But Glen, he's such a composed fighter. He's been very cool in this fight. He's done the right things to, I say, win this fight.
He's looking good for the future, mate. A couple more bouts, and he could definitely come good. But he's working well on Mark Tyson now, and Tyson's taking a lot of punishment.
There he's got him on the ropes again, but Tyson moves.
Oh, tags him with a great left there.
See how he holds his head, the referee having a word to him?
Yeah, he's got to tell him about that. Unfortunately, it's not allowed to happen. This is not street fighting. This is kickboxing. He's definitely got the measure here tonight, unfortunately for Mark Tyson.
See him thrusting that left out there, his left hand, and of course Mark Tyson just hasn't had an answer for it.
It's interesting to know too, Mark Tyson trains himself, and that's a big ask on anyone today. It's like being a captain coach of a sporting team. It's a big ask. You've got to assess yourself, you've got to push yourself. There's a lot of work to do, and there's some big rights coming in there from Glen.
Yes, today's sport is
neutral corner, sends him to a neutral. He wants to go to the other side.
As I was saying, today's sport's too professional to. It makes it very difficult for someone to coach themselves.
A little bit of help here. Mark's count will be a little bit longer than normal because Glen didn't go straight to the neutral corner. As the bell sounds to complete that fight, and without doubt, I think you're going to see the winner of this bout coming out of our blue corner,
Glen Bargagry.
It's good to see the camaraderie amongst these fellows. They seem to have a mutual respect for one another. There's no animosity at the completion of a bout.
No, I think they, as we say about this energy bit, they use a lot of their energy in the fight, and of course...
as we called it, mate, Glen Bargagry. Too good as he stands for a photo.
No, but the best of mates. And what a way to make a friendship, eh?
Yeah. Wouldn't like to have a few beers and argue over a bet. Well, we're looking at our next bout. Mick Dagghi against John Moore. And this is the super lightweight title. New South Wales super lightweight title, so... Here we go. Johnny Moore, 64.6 kilos, 6 fights, 4 wins, no KOs. Not a big hitter, tends to wear down the opposition. So maybe tonight he could possess a big hit. We'll have to wait and see. And we'll now see as he joins in the ring, coming out of that blue corner. These two boys will be getting it all on in a couple of minutes' time. Mick makes his way to the ring, 63.2 kilos, 8 fights, very seasoned competitor, 7 wins, and the big one, 3 KOs.
So he's got it.
Definitely, he's got the power. Stopped 3 of his fights. He's out of the Chen Chuk Fei stable, and Chen has a big involvement with a lot of fighters. Have you had a chance to meet the man at all?
I have met him on quite a few occasions. Kickboxing is, well, Kung Fu's his life, and of course he's done very well in the kickboxing arena too with his fighters.
Does he have an Eastern philosophy to the actual fighting style?
He does. A lot of his guys, they're very good with their hands. Being Kung Fu, they're very strong in the hand region, and of course they have all the kicks too when they choose to use them.
Well, Mick Dagghi in the long shorts. So, well, how can you have long shorts, mate? I've never heard of long shorts, but he's got long pants on. These two boys are straight into it too. They're going to sort each other out in this first round. That's a slip. As we said earlier, the canvas is very greasy. A lot of sweat on that canvas. It's very warm here tonight.
Very, very difficult to deliver technique when you know you're going to slip when you lift your leg up or throw your hand. I mean, you have to give a few degrees.
Well, degrees, mate, I don't know about that. Is degrees in temperature, degrees in sailing, and degrees in law. That's about all I know. But these two boys are definitely going to have to work hard tonight. It's a tough bout. Equally matched, I would say.
Equally matched, but you look at the records of...
Well, you're looking at one fighter having 8 fights, 7 wins and 3 knockdowns, and the other fighter having 6, Johnny Moore having 6.
So, yes, you're right. Very, very even.
Now, the two boys are going to have to work pretty hard. I'd say this first round will just be a bit of feel and see how the other two are fighting. Johnny Moore looks a little bit better conditioned, I would say.
He's the bigger of the boys, too. He's got that reach, which is, as we've seen earlier on in this card, a great advantage.
And Dagghi's been able to slip a few of his left and rights through. As the bell sounds for the completion of round 1 here at the State Sports Centre. The crowd's starting to swell up, which is good to see.
Great to see the kickboxing and Marie Stratton.
Yeah, Marie Stratton from Member Promotions. Taking a bit of a gamble by putting on kickboxing here at the State Sports Centre. But to see a woman involved in this sort of sport, I noticed that one of our judges tonight is a lady.
It's unusual.
It is unusual, absolutely.
But it's great to see.
Oh, I think it's fantastic. It takes all kinds in this sport, and hopefully... Actually, in this shot here, you can just see us, mate. We should wave to the camera, but we won't. We'll just continue on with the fight. As the boys are still just sorting one another out. Lefts and rights. Punches don't seem to have too much on them at the moment. The boys just seem to be blazing out trying to find the distance.
These guys have a great deal of respect for each other. John Moore, he should be using his reach more. He's letting Mick move in too close. And of course,
a bit of a
there
lost balance there.
He's slipping on a bit of perspiration.
It is a very greasy canvas tonight, and that makes it very hard. Johnny Moore nearly set himself up to be king it, then he spun around and just had no guard defence or anything. Okay, lefts and rights still coming from Johnny Moore. He's trying to work his way through that guard. But Dagghi has a good guard. Now keeps those hands up. No one's really taking the aggressive role here. Both fighters come on for a little bit and then back off. This is a 5-rounder as well, so condition could be a major part of it.
That word attrition, mate.
Yeah, wear down the opposition and then take care of it. Well, it could happen again tonight as the boys work in close. When they get in close, Dagghi seems to do a little bit better.
Because John Moore shouldn't be letting him get in that close. I mean, John Moore's got the reach to keep him away. He should be thrusting his leg out, lining him up for a big hit. Because Mick Dagghi fighting a great fight, considering his size.
It's a very cagey fight, isn't it? Very cagey fight.
Crowd starting to pick up.
Well, crowd favourite, I think. This young lady, she's very much appreciated by the crowd. And for you and I, mate, it's a definite bit of sunshine here in the stadium tonight. Of course, Grant Barker's coming up a little later on. And he's up against that Canadian man, Mike McDonald.
Mike McDonald has a very impressive record. He's had 19 fights for 18 wins, and guess who he lost to?
No idea.
Dennis Alexia.
Oh, so it's not a bad record, is it?
Dennis Alexia, yes. For those people who are not sure who Dennis Alexia is, he's the guy who was in kickboxing, the brother of Jean-Claude
Van Damme.
Van Damme.
Mate, all I can remember from that kickboxing tape was when he split those legs apart between the trees, and he'd need more than a Selvatex suit to fix him up after that, or if it was me, I'd definitely need more than that. These two boys are back into it, working away. Geez, he likes to box well, doesn't he, Dagghi? He does it very well. Gets in close and slip, definite slip.
What can they do about this? Can they mop it?
I think they need some more resin, personally. More resin. They even need resin trays in the corner. It might alleviate, because you've got to remember they're fighting without boots on. Now, when this happens, your skin's porous, so it sweats. And that happens to go through the soles of your feet like it does any other part of your body. And that's the reason for it. But resin would help the boys a little. And also a mop maybe over the canvas to try and dry it down at the end of each bout.
In a helicopter, eh?
Yeah, they do that. Well, they have a super sopper in cricket, don't they? A big super sopper in the corner. It doesn't help too. If you notice in each corner, both corners are very wet from when they spray the fighters down, towel them down. And that also has a bearing on it. The feet get greasy and slippery, and bingo, you've got a problem.
I noticed earlier on in this round, John Moore, he started using his legs, and it was effective. Now he stopped, and Mick's moving in and scoring some big points.
Great leather. Oh, that was a big left hand. Oh, another big left.
Good night.
Yeah, I think Johnny Moore's in a bit of trouble here. He was just out on his feet, as you call it. And, Greg, I don't like Johnny Moore's chances of completing. He's a very game fighter. He is really, really puffed out here. Referee's going to have to be a bit careful as the bell sounds, and that may have saved him.
Saved John Moore. He lacks nothing in courage anyway, mate.
Great hands, but from Mick Dagghi, great hands.
If John Moore is to survive, he's got to use his legs. He's got to keep Mick away. He's just got to push him away. And of course, if he doesn't, I hope he's got the energy to do it.
I've noticed that they don't tend to use as much Vaseline on the face area as they do in boxing.
No, well, there is a lot more padding in kickboxing. They've got padding on the feet. Of course, you don't use your feet in boxing, but...
They tend to, in boxing, give a lot of Vaseline around the eyes just to help the splitting of the eyebrow and so forth. It's not as common here in kickboxing.
No, but I think with kickboxing, their technique's broken up into kicks and punches, whereas boxing relies more on punches, and of course, punches around the head tends to open up the face.
You can see Mick Dagghi just getting his reach here, and he's just tagged him with a couple of lefts and right. Johnny Moore is just outclassed tonight, unfortunately.
Mick Dagghi senses a kill here.
Yeah, you can see it, but if you just look in those first couple of exchanges in that round there, he just tagged him, just the little ones on the chin, just got the range. But now Johnny Moore's coming back. He's all heart, this boy.
He got a nice left in, but he just doesn't have the energy to go on with it. I think he's hurt.
Dagghi will be looking to stop this, but I just don't think he's going to be able. Johnny Moore might be able to hang on for completion of round 5. At least it won't go on the card as a KO. Maybe Mick Dagghi can pull one out of the hat and land one of those big lefts that he's been threatening all night with.
See John Moore pushing his leg out. He should be doing this all the time now, just to survive. Of course, these guys, when they throw technique, when they throw a punch or a kick, if they miss, there's nothing more energy zapping than that.
A little more heartbreaking, isn't it?
That's right. It's a psychological blow.
You do all that work and then see it go into the mid-air department. I wouldn't be real impressed. You can see when these boys get tired, they just don't have the spring off the rope. Well, there goes round 4 down.
The 5th and final round is coming up in this competition.
So we now have round 5 to come. Go rapid.
The 5th and deciding round.
5th and deciding round. There's a good close-up corner shot there
Of Mick. But it's interesting to see Mick in his long pants and John in the shorts.
I wouldn't like long pants on him. It would make me too hot, too sweaty.
It'd be a little bit restrictive, wouldn't it?
I think so. But Mick's a very much upper body fighter. He tends to work a lot better with his gloves. I think Johnny Moore senses it here. He's come out firing, trying to to sort this one out. But I tell you what, all he's doing now is walking into some of those hand grenades, I should say, from Mick Dagghi.
No, John Moore just doesn't seem to have it tonight.
Chan Chuck Fay plays a major part with his fighters. He's a very good tactician and a very good trainer of his fighters, and he's proving that yet again, preparing his fighters right for this sort of fight.
Mick Dagghi, the smaller of the two, has fought a very, very good fight. Tactically, he's outmanoeuvred, outthought John Moore. And of course, he seems to have more energy in the tank too.
Well, Johnny Moore's arms must be weighing like 100 pounds at the moment. He's just so tired. I think he's just sort of, he's there on instinct. A very courageous man. Even when he backs away, he has to sort of pick his feet up. Oh, lefts and rights getting through from Dagghi.
John Moore's legs like jelly now. Ooh.
This boy's definitely going to need a good, long, hot spa tonight.
I think he's lost something. It looks like his mouth guard's fallen out. But I might be seeing things.
No, the referee might have to sort of look at this in a moment, because it's just a little bit as the bell sounds to complete this bout. But without doubt, I don't even think we have to wait for the decision from the judges. Mick Dagghi over Johnny Moore.
I predict Mick Dagghi, mate.
Mate, you're a game man. Absolutely game man. Would you like to make a prediction on the Melbourne Cup, maybe? Without doubt, Chan Chuck Fay. Yeah, unanimous decision.
Chan Chuck Fay's having a good night tonight. Yes.
As we said, very good camaraderie amongst the boys. How in God's name you go up to someone and thank them for punching you out, I don't know. But Johnny Moore just did that then. Well, this is the one you've been waiting to see, mate.
Steve Vick, watch this guy. He's fabulous. He has every single kick in the book. A beautiful fighter. He's got good hands, but his best point are his kicks. They're brilliant.
And he's up against Tony Lapia.
Tony Lapia. I don't know much about this guy, but I predict that Tony will be in for one hell of a fight tonight.
Very experienced fighter, this Steve Super Kick too. He is 12 fights gone. And so Tony Lapia has also 8 fights. So the boys are pretty experienced. Going to be tough.
It will be
70 kilos too for Tony Lapia. 8 fights, 6 wins, 3 KOs.
Tony Lapia, he looks pretty mean.
And he's got the slick back going.
He got a nice, that little bit of a warm-up there. Nice front kick and a turning kick. So maybe he's got some nice kicks about him too.
And he's wearing his belt with pride. No doubt he wants to take that belt home with him as well.
Steve Super Kick Vick.
You said he has a very strong martial arts background.
No, he's obviously come from a martial arts background, which does a lot of kicking, because he has every kick in the book, this guy.
69.3 kilos, 12 fights, 10 wins, 50% KO record on those wins.
And a lot of those KOs would be by the feet.
Early on in the fight too, I would suggest, when he's fresh.
Yes. But he's got such good technique, he doesn't have to use a lot of energy to kick. Whereas a lot of these other guys who hop in the ring, they seem to take a great deal of effort to pick their legs up. But
well, he obviously shops in a very stylish shop, a nice gold, how would you call it, overcoat there for him to come into the ring in.
He's a splendid-looking character, both in dress and technique.
Well, I don't know what they're all smiles about, but obviously...
he's a great favourite with the crowd.
Is he? Well, I thought they knew something that we didn't. But anyway, he's got gold shorts on too, mate, so he likes a little bit of the flamboyance. These two boys are eyeballing one another. Very solid boy. A lot of definition.
And it must be pointed out that Steve Vick is the challenger.
Oh, is he really? Tony Lapia, of course, as I said before. Yeah, very good point. The belt was on his waistline, and hopefully Steve can put it onto his. It'll be very interesting to see, and of course we're looking for a big kick fight from Steve. What sort of fight Tony Lapia can come up with to combat that, we'll have to wait and see. Round 1.
Let's hear that thrusting side kick. He'll keep Tony away all night.
Now this is for the super welterweight title, South Pacific. 10 2-minute rounds, a little bit longer in duration, with of course the 1-minute mandatory break in between.
See what Steve Vick was doing there. He's doing a hook kick, then coming back with a turning kick.
Okay, once again, Okay, I'm just watching these two boys now work it in and around. Let's see how that... Whoa, that was a slip. Definite slip. Definite slip.
Steve Vick.
Definite slip. Yeah, gee, just got him wiping his feet. He's actually called time out here. Now, this is what we were talking about earlier on, the fact that the boys are slipping on this canvas tonight. Maybe they're going to have to look at using a more porous canvas as we work forward to some more bouts. Now, the ref's come in here. It's called time again. He's instructing him on those low leg kicks to keep them to the lateral side of the body. It's super kicks looking in great shape tonight. So is Tony Lapia. It's a credit to these two boys. Oh, big right from Steve. But then Tony Lapia comes straight back with lefts and rights. These two fellas are going to trade this out. We're looking at a very good fight here.
Well, that's shaping up to be a beauty. This Tony Lapia,
wayward right hand.
He is the champion, and he will not let it go easily. Look at that reverse hook
big
kick.
Reverse
Hook kick by Steve Vick. It did miss. Tony Lapia getting out of the way in time.
Tony counters very well in that situation.
He's got Steve. Let's see how Steve can work out from the ropes. He moves very well on his feet. And, of course, he's mixing it with Tony at the moment. Tony Lapia coming up with a roundhouse kick to Steve Vick's
Geez, he likes
leg.
to blaze that roundhouse, doesn't he? Geez, he does it well. I can see what you're talking about, super kick.
Yes, Tony's an interesting style of fighter. He's an uncompromising type of fighter.
Good little right from Tony Lapia. He snuck that in. We complete round one. I think there's a little bit of animosity between these boys.
Yes, it's as we said, it's shaping up to be a big one. Has everything, this fight. We have one who's a walk-up style fighter, the other one who has brilliant kicking technique.
Round two, as we said, 10 2-minute rounds. These boys are going to have to be very, very fit.
They'll have to pace themselves very well, mate. But, of course, judging by that first round, they were moving at quite a lightning pace.
Both very healthy-looking boys, too. So I'd say that they're very, very conscientious about their diet and training techniques that they use.
Steve.
Oh, Tony Lapia walked into a couple of good lefts and rights. Tony Lapia comes out left and right, kicks at him straight away over the top with the right hand.
Yes, Tony Lapia taking no nonsense tonight from Steve Vick.
Steve Vick warned for holding. Now let's see what happens here. Tony Lapia is obviously trying to take Steve Vick on at his own game, at a kicking game. Whether this is going to be going into the hornet's nest or not, I don't know. Still very early on in the fight. Oh, that was a low one. Aha.
What will happen here?
I think we're going to get a little bit of a recess. Absolutely. He'll take a seat. Tony has to go into the neutral corner. A lot of stomach definition on Tony. Obviously a lot of work in the gym to get right. Steve's just getting himself gathered together, so to speak. Hands free. We're ready to roll. Okay. Oh, lovely right. But then Tony Lapia comes straight back with the right as well. Steve Superfoot comes straight on with that roundhouse right as well. These two boys are blazing away.
Steve Vick showing then that he can kick with both legs equally as well.
Yeah. Steve's got good hand speed too, but Tony Lapia is a very, very strong customer. He has not got this belt on his waist without knowing what to do. And, oh, both fighters sneaking in a good kick then. More Tony Lapia than I would say Steve Super.
He's even thrusting that left foot out there because Tony Lapia shrugs it aside and moves in.
These boys are very, very fit. You can see the muscle definition in their backs. They obviously train very, very hard. We don't know the ages of these fighters, but I would assume they're around that 24 age bracket.
Yes, these guys are obviously approaching their peaks. And Steve Vick missing with that back kick then. Oh. Tony coming in with that...
Geez, he gets that kick up very well. That was 3 kicks in a row, right over the top. He threw that too high then.
Mate, he can kick holes in the roof, this guy.
Completion of round 3.
But he's got beautiful kicks. They're very exciting kicks, those reverse turning kicks and reverse hook kicks. And, of course, his sliding turning kick is a winner. Scores points all the time.
Round 3 in the super welterweight bout.
Both fighters earning a well-earned rest.
Yeah, mate, I don't think a minute would be long enough for me.
Seconds down.
I'd need a couple of days between rounds. Just a couple of days. The boys are in centre ring. You can see Steve just getting ready, loosening those legs all the time. Let's see how it opens up. Comes out with a left kick again. Right kick back, right again from Lapia.
Lapia trying to work Steve's legs, trying to wear them out.
He's obviously prepared to have a go, and he's quite confident with his ability to do that. Boys are hanging on here in close. The ref's going to have to step in a minute. They've broken of their own accord.
Tony Lapia would be better to get inside of Steve Vick. I mean, if he can get inside, that's the way to go for him.
These kicks are going to have to take a toll on both the man delivering the kick and the man receiving the kick. So it's just going to be a matter of who wears first.
That's right. Attrition, mate. Attrition.
You like that word, attrition?
Oh, it's, there we go. That nice jumping back kick from
oh,
Steve Vick.
he spun that around too. Lovely. He's got him back in the corner. Now can Tony inflict a little bit of punishment on him to stop Steve from bringing those big kicks out?
Steve Vick tying him up pretty well and getting out of that corner.
He spins out of that corner very well, doesn't he?
He moves well. I just love his kicking style. He's obviously done a martial art like Taekwondo or Hapkido, a Korean martial art.
Got good balance on his feet. You'll see many a time there he actually balances on one foot for a long period of time.
There he goes, whipping that reverse hook kick around again, missing Tony.
They're getting close. The two boys are a little bit tired, I would say, here. Having a well-earned rest midway through this round. Ref breaks them apart, pulls them back into the centre of the ring, and the boys are back in. Oh! Now, I think that'll be classified as a slip. I wouldn't call that a knockdown.
No, he bounced off Tony Lapia.
It's a hard one to judge at times, isn't it? Whether you actually have received a blow, a counter punch, or a counter kick when you do go in for something like that. But once again, another slip.
This canvas, mate, that's something has to be done.
It doesn't seem to be the logo that's causing the problem either. It just seems to be the canvas in general. So we can't blame Powers Bitter. Ooh, a couple of exchanges there when the boys went after one another.
No, but it has to be pointed out too that Steve Vick, his kicks are very high, and of course when you're kicking that high, it is very difficult to keep your balance.
Absolutely, the crowd comes to life, and I wonder why. Round 4 may be the answer to that question. We'll find out in a moment. There's a large amount of ladies in the audience tonight too, Greg, and that's
Great
good to see.
mate. Well, it is a bit of a gamble by Mema Promotions when you consider that there was a world kickboxing fight between Stan the Man. That was a big night in the entertainment centre, and to follow on from that is a big gamble. But looking at the crowd, it looks like it has paid off.
Well, out they come. Round 4. Let's see how it pans out.
Tony Lapia knows one way, that is forward.
And he goes after it, doesn't it? Steve is very good with his hands as well.
Steve Vick has to cover up here at the moment because Tony is just trying to work him into that corner and he's working his body, but the referee steps in.
He's giving Tony Lapia a little bit of a talking to about the height there, some of those blows, and now Steve Vick's got to go after him again. It's always the challenger that's got to take it up to the champion, I think.
It's very hard to get that belt from the champion.
Lapia's just doing quite well at this point in time. I'd say this is a very even card so far. Not much in either round, and I would split it at the moment and say it's a 50-50 ratio.
He's coming in with an axe kick. That is a very, very powerful kick by Steve Vick if it connects.
Oh, gee, there's a big roundhouse kick and tremendous quality in that. It didn't connect. If it would have, I think we would have seen somebody's head in the
heads roll, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. The referee undecided then about coming in.
Looking at Tony Lapia's face, it looks like he has taken a bit around the head, Reg. There he goes again.
A couple of those kicks, and that's definitely a knockdown.
There's that big roundhouse kick by...
That is a big knockdown. Big knockdown, and I tell you what, Tony Lapia is not going to get up from this one.
He'd be mad if he did, mate.
Yeah, shit, that was that devastating kick that you called it, mate, but that stopped him. Good night, Tony. The champion went down gallantly, but he's just up against a man that is a very classy kickboxer in the true sense of the word.
He's brilliant. Steve Vick is good.
Oh, look at the replay. Right over the top of the guard. Tony Lapia had no chance at all to respond to that.
Steve Vick going for that head all night, tapping it a few times and then coming up with a winner.
Well, he's proved to be Superfoot without any shadow of a doubt. That connected very hard with the side of the head, and there was just no way in the world that Tony Lapia, champion as he might be, was going to get up from the canvas.
There's Steve Vick, Maurice.
A little bit of concern over him here at the moment. They're just the doctors in there at the moment, just checking him out. They'll take the gloves off.
But it's great to see a kicker like this in the ring, Steve Vick. He's great for the sport of kickboxing. And very
much so. Tony Lapia gets up. The crowd gives him a big round of applause.
Yeah, they are great mates.
1 minute 40 into the 5th round. So the South Pacific Super Welterweight title goes to Queensland. The gold shorts.
Alan McQuillan will be presenting the belt to Steve Superkick Vick.
Super kick.
And Steve will be having a few words, I believe.
Well, he doesn't have to say too much. I think he proved it all tonight.
Well, as the old saying goes, actions speak louder than words.
Well, that belt looks pretty good around his waist, and it's going to have to be a good man to go after it. Very good man to go after it and take that belt away from him.
I'd just like to make a very special thanks today. My trainer, Wayne Spencer, who's given me a lot of his time to prepare me for this fight. I only had a month to prepare for this fight, and he's done a great job. And also, a very special friend and a great fighter, Rich is an excellent prospect, and he's really helped me out with my training. That coming down every morning, push me through my pace and things like that. And to my girlfriend for putting up with me for the last month, and to you people coming to watch it, thank you very much.
Well, here comes the next fight. Commonwealth Heavyweight title. The man that currently holds it's Grant Barker. The man that's coming after it is a Canadian by the name of Mike McDonald, and I do know for a fact that they believe Barker cannot kick. They believe that his kicking style in the fights is not good. They say he's vulnerable in that area, and they believe that that could be the area that Mike McDonald can take care of Barker.
Yes, but I hope Mike McDonald doesn't underestimate it. Well, I hope he does, really being an Australian.
87.4 kilos. Dale Floyd is the trainer. 19 fights, 18 wins. KOs 6. He's only lost the one time, and you mentioned the man he had to fight that time. He'll be fighting in the Irish green colours. A bit funny for a Canadian. But, no sign of a maple leaf anywhere. Of course, that's the insignia of Canada. Long way to come to lose.
It is a long way to come. I think this guy, he'll be hopping in the ring to mean business. He means business.
They call him the blonde bomber. Oh, I tell you what, mate, he's flown over Berlin a couple of times, this boy. And of course, ACDC is his trademark. The group. He's got a couple of minders in front of him there.
Well, this is without doubt Grant Barker's biggest test so far in his career.
Very strong. He doesn't have a high muscle tone in the body yet. He's much more solidly set. He's very similar to Mike Tyson. Not a lot of visual muscle tone. Just a lot of power, mate.
And, mate, he's very similar to Dennis Alexia, too, that guy who beat Mike McDonald. So this could be a this will be, I predict, will be a very interesting encounter.
He's got some big boys walking in with him, too, I tell you. Barker's very serious about this kickboxing career of his. 91.9 kilos. There is a rumour that there will be a new weight division coming soon into the sport, which will be 91 and below. Barker has already expressed interest in fighting at that. 15 fights, 12 win, 10 KOs. Has tasted defeat, so he knows it's a bitter taste. And I'm sure Mr. Barker will like to walk out tonight a winner. Now, just as a footnote here, or should we say a shin note, there is no shin pads in the heavyweight division. They do have to wear the feet pads, but no shin pads. So I believe there's stories of these guys kicking trees and so forth to get the strength up into their shins.
Well, for those people who saw Kickboxer, that that bald guy, the main guy who was hopped in the ring against Dennis Alexia. He was kicking the pylons of this building. So, and of course the building was rocking.
Well, Mike McDonald looking very fit there in the corner. Very, very fit looking.
Very vocal crowd now.
This could be a very boring fight, or it could be a very entertaining fight. It's hard to say which way this will go as the boys go back to their neutral corner.
Well,
the
mate,
crowd's starting to get behind
depends
it.
how much respect they have for each other. If they have a lot of respect for each other, they mightn't get into it.
Well, I think they're backing the wrong game plan at the moment, the McDonald camp, in the sense that they say Barker can't kick well. I'd think he'd take care of a few mules in his time. You know, the mule, they say, is one of the best kickers around. Well, this guy's no ass. He can kick like the hell. But they come for round one. Boys are straight in. Interesting defence tactics straight away. You can see from McDonald the style of defence he has. It's a crab style of defence. And it'll be interesting to see whether that stays the same for the whole fight. I don't know too much about McDonald at all.
No, he's apparently his record speaks for itself. But very tentative start from both the guys. They do respect each other. Oh, there's some nice handwork by McDonald. Because Barker, this is his biggest test so far in his career, and the way he started.
Will Barker have had a chance to have maybe a look at some tapes of McDonald fighting style?
I think so. Marie Stratton, I was speaking to Marie Stratton on the phone before this fight, and she was telling me that she rang up Mick Spinks and told Mick Spinks of the incredible record this guy has, especially against Dennis Alexia. Of course, it's not a great record to lose to someone, but he's got the experience, and Mick Spinks said, well, we're just going to have to get down there and do our homework.
Well, we're looking at 10 two-minute rounds, so it's going to be very interesting to see how it pans out. But just at the moment, both fighters are just sort of like standing off. It's very standoffish, isn't it?
Very standoffish.
As I said, mate, this has the potential for being a great fight or the potential for being a very boring fight.
Well, let's hope it explodes, eh? It explodes into action.
We can only hope. We can only hope.
This is McDonald thrusting out that left front kick and then coming around with the right turning kick to Barker's thigh region.
McDonald believes firmly that Barker is not a good kicker.
Well, Mike, from what I've seen of Mike McDonald, he doesn't look overly good at kicking either.
He's elected not to even sit down at this time, so is Barker. He's standing up at the moment. No, Barker sits down, but McDonald elects to stand. As out comes our round two sign.
Let's hope Mike McDonald lets go with a few of these more fancied kicks.
Once again, that crab style of defence. Gloves pointed to the canvas, the palm of the hand down towards the canvas. Barker very much more upright, elbows more into the stomach area of the body. Whereabouts you can see now from the back view of McDonald where he has those arms very flat. And the elbows aren't into the body, they're beside the body. He's very confident of his stomach muscles being able to stand up to any sort of punishment.
And they'd have to stand up to quite a bit with one of Grant Parker's kicks landing.
Very well-built fellow, isn't he?
He hasn't got, doesn't seem to have an ounce of fat on him. Of course, any guy who does hop in the ring doesn't normally have any fat on them, but this guy's in superb condition.
The sport in Canada doing quite well, I believe. It's pretty strong throughout the ranks, and of course, this is one of their premier fighters.
They have a couple of world champions in their stables over there too.
Oh, that'll all make well for the coming years of kickboxing in that country, and also for us here in Australia, because we are all in the Commonwealth. This is a Commonwealth title fight. Barker will be looking to hang on to that title, the title which he regathered from Mitch Ahella. Actually, when he fought Mitch, he came undone against Mitch, but came back very strongly to take care of Ahella. And we see him here tonight
That was a very important win for Grant Barker to get his career back on the rails.
I think he said he was just mentally not right for that fight. He didn't have the right qualities inside him.
Oh, that's right, mate.
Now, will he call this a knockdown, mate? This is a slip? I think so.
A slip.
And I say dry the gloves and back into it.
But the physical condition, of course, you have to have the correct mental condition too to hop in the ring. And, for me, I think it's crazy to hop in the ring with either of these guys, but these guys can handle themselves very well.
That's a completion.
The Commonwealth Heavyweight title is
1-2. Now, just a little bit of a warning from the ref. Just giving a few pointers. He's still electing to stand up. Keep those legs moving.
Wonder which round we'll see him
takes the
sitting
seat.
down.
Yes. Might be an indication of how tired he is really getting. Grant Barker doesn't even really look to have a sweat up at the moment.
Seconds down, round 3.
Well, both guys haven't done a great deal so far in this fight. There's obviously, as I've said before, a great deal of respect between both of these guys.
Okay, still that same crab style of defence.
Yeah, that's
Good front kick.
That's a point for Mike McDonald.
Seems very tentative. You can see he crouches and doesn't use his full height.
He's an elusive fighter. He just wants to get out of the way of Grant Barker. He has heard of Grant Barker's
Bombs, let's say.
bombs, because those two bombs in the hand.
Yeah, Barker
Region.
definitely renowned for his strength in the upper body and the fact that he can throw some great punches. And they seem to come from nowhere when he does it.
He's got great speed and incredible power with his hands. And when his feet connect too, they hit hard.
And the boys are working at one another just at the moment. Still, it's a very interesting fight so far. Both fellas are very cautious. And this sort of fight, really, what happens is you get flurries. Greg, you get a situation where some fighter comes on, one of the fighters will come on for a couple of seconds, and then he goes off the boil again and sits back and sort of like controls his game and comes at him again. It's very much a tit-for-tat fighting situation.
Tit-for-tat, these guys are trying to pace themselves. I mean, looking at the size of these guys, especially the size of Barker, they have to pace themselves, otherwise they just won't make the end of the fight. Because it's 10 rounds, 10 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 2-minute rounds.
2-minute rounds.
Barker's guard's still very high on the chin area, keeping his hands well up.
The only kicks I've seen so far from...
McDonald snuck that right through then, got through the guard of Barker.
But Mike McDonald, he thrusts out that right front turning kick and front kick, and then he comes around with the left turning kick. And they're the only 2 kicks I've seen so far in this fight from him. Here he goes again.
A little bit of sweat building up in the back of the shorts here on McDonald, so he's starting to work a little. Still neglects to take the seat. He requires no seat, stands up. Bit of water over him to keep him moist. We get a camera shot now of Barker's corner as we start round 4. We're nearing the halfway mark in this fight.
Now let's bring to the fight action here. The 4th round is coming up.
This fight between Alex Toohey and Kash Gill is going to be a classic example of the little man versus the big man. The David versus the Goliath.
Tactics.
Kash Gill is a very, very tall fellow. I'd say somewhere in the 6'3" range, 6'2" range.
Mate, he's a telegraph pole.
Oh, absolutely. Long reach. Toohey's going to have to get in close and work around the abs to bring that guard down and then try and take care of him, because Toohey's only a small man.
Well, Toohey'd be mad to try and kick him in the head, wouldn't he?
You got a step ladder or a milk crate to stand on, because I just don't think it can be done. That's a slip.
Another slip.
So it'll have to be looked into, actually. The slips that are happening tonight are very prominent. Very consistent slips. Oh, he tagged Barker then. Left and right, and then followed it with another right. Barker had to back away in a hurry, but see, McDonald didn't go after him.
No, McDonald, the same as Barker, very tentative at this moment. There's a nice turning kick from Barker, and he moves in.
A little bit of action for the first time in the fight, but straight away, stalemate. Slows it up, ties one another up, and Barker straight back in again, misses with that big right.
Barker beginning to tread on forbidden ground. He's starting to move in a little bit more now. The crowd urging Barker on. I hope he can hear them.
I'm sure he can, mate. I'm sure he can. Anyway, he won't hear him as if he's knocked out. And the chances of that happening tonight are very remote. Okay, drops that right up to the top. You're seeing Barker now trying to find the distance here that he can really get into McDonald and work him. But as we've said, both fighters come on and then they back off again.
Barker, he'll have to start moving in soon. He'll have to start taking advantage of that weight difference he has in his favour.
He's in there at 91.9, so it's right on his weight, fighting weight. He's quite happy at that weight. Maybe a couple of pounds off it, but he's quite happy at that weight. McDonald's fighting a cagey fight. The bell sounds for the completion of round 4. We'll come out with round 5, which will be the halfway mark in this 10-rounder tonight. But so far, very, very...
Well, not much has happened, mate.
Boring fight. I got to say it, mate. I wouldn't like to be in there, but this is a boring fight. This is a boring fight. If some people in the audience go to sleep, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I think tactics should be adopted. I think someone has to make a move.
I want to adopt something, mate. They maybe want to adopt a couple of kids each or something and stop fighting, because tonight both fighters are very cagey. They're not really showing what they're really worth. And to come all the way from Canada and fight this sort of fight surprises me.
Oh, it's jet lag, mate. It's obvious.
Barker, the champion, it's up to the challenger to take the fight to the champion. As far as I'm concerned, it's the way any sport goes, whether it's this sport or whether it's running or anything. You are the champion. You've earned that. That's the legacy you have. And as the challenger, you've got to go after it. You've got to go after it. And McDonald's just not doing that at the moment. Untidy. He's called both fighters in and he's warning about the holding. But it seems as though he's come here to survive and not to win.
He's had a first-class trip out in the plane and having a good look at Australia. But look at him, he has obviously worked out. He's a very fit-looking guy. There, he's picking up a bit of pace there.
It seems as though there's the technique's there, it seems as though the power's there, but it just seems as though the mind doesn't want to coordinate the whole show together.
Yes, mate, he left his mind behind, it seems.
Oh, I'm not going to say that to him. I'll tell you now, I'm not going to say that to him.
Well, I hope he didn't hear me say it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, he looked at me when I said that.
Well, they're just coming over the top of us right now, mate, so he might have urged us. Just look out when you try and leave here tonight if you don't get a big backhander.
No, I'll call him sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Sir, absolutely, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, the boys are still sparring away here. This is virtually a sparring match.
Spar.
For both fighters. You kick and then I'll kick. Other than a couple of flurries in those first couple of rounds, we really haven't seen the goods that these two boys really possess.
Well, Barker has yet to release his fabulous hands. Of course, this guy, all I've seen is a front kick and a turning kick from him. He does a left foot front kick. He's caught Barker a few times in stomach with that. Of course, Barker's stomach region can quite easily absorb that.
He's nowhere as well defined as McDonald. But Barker not really after that sort of shape of his body. He is a very solid Mike Tyson style fighter.
Mike Tyson, Dennis Alexia.
Very much so. Very much so.
But these guys, you can look at, especially McDonald, although they are heavyweights, and it's harder for heavyweights to
that
throw
was
these.
Very heavy. Absolutely. I'd get a sore back if I was out there at the moment. But Mick McDonald's there. He seems all ready to rock and roll, and he gets out there and all he does is play B flat.
But the kicks these guys are exhibiting, when you compare them to someone like Steve Vick, but Steve Vick is a lot smaller.
Yeah. Oh, they'd kick Steve Vick over the goalpost.
Oh, they would.
You know.
From halfway, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, he's pushed Barker back there. For the first time in the fight, Barker went backwards.
Barker looking for an opening there, but he can't find one. This guy has good defence.
Oh, yeah, it's a different style of defence. Must be the first time Barker has encountered this style of defence. And like always, it's taken time to work it out, but he just doesn't seem to be able to work it out tonight. It's just not happening for him.
Well, the crowd's trying to urge these guys on.
Barker's doing enough, definitely, to hold the points lead in this fight at this point in time.
He's doing very well.
But,
for a point.
Then what can you say? What can you say? You only got to win the fight. Doesn't matter how you win it.
That's right.
But, I still firmly believe the challenger is the one that's got to take the fighter. The two boys,
Barker missing with a right turning kick. Of course, they come in for a nice little hug there. Nothing happened. See what he does? Mike McDonald, he comes in with that roundhouse kick to Barker's thigh region. He comes in with... Oh, there's a nice jab by Mike McDonald.
Oh, he's ducking before he even spun around there. I think he thought, hang on, it's going to hit me. Like, I'd hate to be hit by either of these two boys, but they're just not coordinating it all together tonight. Obviously off their game, and as I said, the challenger's got to do the work, and at the moment Barker is well ahead on points, and that's the way the outcome of this fight's going to go unless McDonald can turn it around and get a little bit more aggressive. Wrong way, Grant. Back the other way. Now, will McDonald sit down? Nope. Says nope. No. I'm standing up all the way.
Trying to psych Grant Barker out. Of course, I don't think it'll work.
Wayne Bridge there is Barker's second, and he's been with Barker from the beginning of all this, along with Mick Spinks, the trainer. And it's good to see that they've been able to hold that team together. Very important, I think, as Barker obviously heads towards a shot at the world title.
Well, the guy who hops in the ring is the spearhead of the team. And, of course, Barker has a very good team behind him.
Round 7, both boys coming out with kicks, lefts and rights. One kick from Barker, just langing that leg out. And, of course, we're waiting. I'm waiting for Alex Tui versus Kash the Flash Gill.
Because I can't wait for that fight either, mate.
I'd like to have a fast-forward button made at the moment and push these fighters into the fast-forward mode. We could do a real quick commentary and we could get to the main bout of the night. But anyway, we've still got ourselves 3 lovely rounds to go here.
It's done nothing for my blood pressure. That is, it hasn't risen at all, this fight, so far.
I've seen a lot of people going to the bar, so obviously the takings are increasing at the bar. Well, Barker, I should say, missed them with that big right. If it would have connected, he would have lit the Canadian right up.
But nothing has come close from either fighter that could lift anyone up.
Nope. Just jabbing away once again. Boys aren't really coordinating any sort of style at the moment.
See Barker starting to stalk McDonald, but McDonald pushes him away, as the ref indicated.
The funny part is when one fighter does backpedal, the other fighter doesn't come after him with the kill. As Barker's having a go. A bit of action for the first time in the fight. A little bit of sweat happening now in the ring as Barker goes after him. Definitely coming over the top. First time in the fight we've seen some form of action for a duration of time. And McDonald trying to fight his way out of the corner. Not a good move against Barker. Well, he's connecting, but Barker's going to have to backpedal maybe here. Hangs on a little bit. McDonald getting the better of that exchange to the latter end.
Most exciting part of the fight so far.
Well, mate, if you're excited, I'd hate to buy you a birthday present. That's all I've got to say on that. I'll keep my money in my pocket, thanks.
I'm holding myself back, mate, for the big round 8.
No, it's just, I'm glad you said back. Anyway, we're just looking now at round 8. Not a problem. Round 8 is, you said yourself, you're holding yourself back. I'd have to hold myself back there. Well, he still hasn't sat down, this fellow. I don't know what the story is about this walking around, but a lot of sweat now starting to build up on those green shorts. Barker out to the centre of the ring in a big hurry. It's like the rest of this fight, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a big hurry from word go. Okay, round 8. We've got 8, 9 and 10 to go, folks, so stick with us. All right, the boys are just working into it now. As you said before, that was the most exciting part of the fight, mate.
Mate, I just really couldn't control myself.
Yes. Well, these two boys obviously couldn't either. They've gone back to the old vein again. I'll hit you, you hit me.
As if there's a game of tip football applied to the kickboxing ring, this is it.
These two fellas are definitely not taking the fight away, but once again, I can't blame Barker. He's only got to win it. He's the champion. He keeps the belt. And unfortunately, McDonald's got to go after it. McDonald's a classy fighter. I can't understand the tactics that have been adopted by him and his team tonight. In that exchange before, Barker started to get on top, but McDonald was able to counter very, very well.
McDonald's a very, very elusive fighter, and of course Barker's finding it a little bit difficult to lay one on him at the moment.
Well, I don't think we've seen the best of McDonald, and unless he can produce it in these last couple of rounds, I think unfortunately he's going to be back on a plane without a title. Not much money in his pocket, wondering why the hell he came all this way.
A nice trip, mate, on the plane. It's,
I don't know what the time frame is from Canada over here, flying time, but I could definitely spend my time a little better than sitting in an aircraft.
These guys just don't seem to be mixing it at the present time. Barker there thrusting his left foot out, and of course I don't know why it didn't hit anything. But maybe saving up for a big one. Both these guys are saving up for the last rounds of the championship rounds of this fight.
Barker now just still pacing, slip from Barker as the bell sounds for completion of round 8. We've got 9 and 10 to come your way, ladies and gentlemen, and then the big fight, the one we've both been waiting for, and I'm sure that there will be no lack of drama, no lack of style, and definitely no lack of heart in that fight when it comes our way. Kash Gill, the defending champion, up against that little man of ours, Alex Toohey.
A juggernaut. Alex Toohey, I mean, can the juggernaut keep its momentum up?
I don't know, he doesn't say too much, Alex Toohey. I don't know if you've had a chance to speak to him. I spoke to him, he said hello, and that was about it.
No, Alex Toohey, they say he's the Clark Kent of the kickboxing ring. Doesn't say much, he lets his actions speak for themselves in the ring.
Look how slow that was in. Barker turned around and actually had his back to McDonald for, I would say, half a second, and McDonald just said, oh, that's a nice back, let's get around to the front again.
It's tactics, mate. Says, come and hit me. Come and hit me if you can.
Barker tonight has shown me that he is most probably coming of age as a champion. He said, OK, I'll do what I have to tonight, and that's all he's done.
It's been a game of chess. I can liken it to a game of chess. Barker's just done enough to win, I think, or win so far.
These boys were a little bit bigger than Bobby Fischer ever was, mate. I can assure you. I don't know the guy who used to play from Russia, but they used to play for like 5 or 6 hours, didn't they? Or even days at some stages.
That's right.
This fight could have gone on for days, I think. These two boys could have stayed on their feet that long. McDonald comes out, tries to swing after that break, and just not there, mate. The crispness, it's just not there.
McDonald's shown a limited range of kicks. His front kick, and of course his left or right turning kick. It's just that's all he's shown, and of course his hands are pretty good. He's elusive. It's been hard for Grant Barker to lay one on him, and that's all I can say about him.
That's pretty much all there is to be said. I don't think there's much else.
There's Grant Barker's laid it right on him.
Finally a bomb came out from Barker. Now he starts to come after him, but he's tentative in his approach to him. Why get mixed up in all this, Barker says. He just says, I've got the bag, I've got the belt, I'm going to go home with the lot tonight.
Barker's hands are the big danger for McDonald. Of course, Barker's starting to move in on McDonald now. And see how McDonald here, he gets off these ropes. He's on the ropes at the moment. And
Barker's had him here once before and he couldn't take care of it. And once again, McDonald gets out of that corner.
He fights his way out very well. And he's, as I said before, elusive.
The powers of B have not come to these fighters tonight, as Will come out to close this off. Definitely Barker will take the title unless McDonald can pull out a big round 10 and put Barker on the canvas. I think he knows it too, mate. You can see the despondent look upon his face. He realises he's got to go after this.
He's got to pull something out of this round. Of course, Barker, being the champion, just has to go in there and do what he's been doing all fight.
Yep, he'll just be looking to stay out of trouble. Three gives him the last round call. Make sure they understand that. Mick Spinks giving me a couple of last-minute instructions there. Do his boy. He's hard charger.
He's shaking hands for the last time. Listen to that crowd. Barker, Barker, Barker. Come on, Barker, start barking.
Well, I can't believe McDonald. I'd just throw caution to the wind. You've lost the fight, son. Go out there and just give it everything you've got. You'll only get on the plane with a few more bruises. And maybe a belt, if you could put him down. But to come out and just consolidate the fight at this point in time, it's no value.
No, he hasn't got enough time. 2-minute rounds. And of course, less than 2 minutes to go now. And of course, look at him. He's just standing there, waiting for Barker to move in. Barker's just being very composed at this time. And makes it hard for McDonald too to lay one on Barker, because McDonald, he hasn't moved in all fight, and of course, why start moving in right at the end?
Well, that strategy of thinking that Barker wasn't a good kickboxer in the true sense of the word has gone out the window. Barker's been able to deliver the kicks the same amount, I would say, as McDonald, and I think that was a bad ploy from his camp to come out with that sort of approach to the fight.
McDonald's kicking range is very limited.
He's trying to finish on here, but Barker's once again comes over. He likes his corner this side. He comes over on top of us, and once again, McDonald spins out. Both fighters annul their attacks.
The crowd urging Barker on.
Well, I don't have to, mate. I'd score this. I wouldn't say unanimous. I'd give it a split decision.
Yes, they'd like a bit of action. They'd like more action. They want something to happen, because not much has happened. There's that little flurry earlier on, and the crowd went berserk when that happened, but they've had no reason to go berserk since then.
The photographer's got his camera in the ring, and I don't know what he's going to take a photo of. There's not much action to take any photos of, I'm afraid. A big bomb that missed. The bell sounds. Completion of the fight.
They're buddies.
Absolutely.
They've done nothing to be angry with each other about, have they, mate?
Unless we're asking each other where they're going to have a beer later. Well, I think they would. The Canadians just seemed happy to survive.
Decision, ladies and gentlemen. Give the fighters a round of applause. Judges have scored 95-90, 90-97. 94-92, the winner, and still Commonwealth Heavyweight champion.
I don't think there was much heart stopping there, mate. It was pretty much foregone conclusion of who would take that bout as he shakes Mum's hand.
There's one good thing about this, the most important thing about this is that Grant Barker now becomes the second-rated heavyweight kickboxing in the world.
Oh. That's an interesting point, and something I didn't realise. He's got a lot of work to do, but a lot of work to do if he wants to take that world title. It's going to require a very intense program in the gym. The biggest problem he's going to run into, it was a split decision as we call it, but the biggest thing he's going to run into is getting quality sparring partners out here in Australia. There's not too many fellows that can work out with
I've
Barker.
noticed one good...
Big hug from Mum there, mate.
Oh, Mum, yes. Mum's always at his side. As I was saying, I've noticed a good sparring partner for him in the crowd. Stan the Man's in the crowd.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Maybe this is a setup for a big clash between these Australia's two premier heavyweights.
Well, we know that Stan had a crack at the Worlds, but unfortunately the world title eluded him.
Mike McDonald from Canada, very, very cagey customer. He come here to take that title back, and he's come a long way. He's a great fighter and a very nice man. I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. I'm the #2 contender in the world now. I'm going to keep trying hard, and hope everybody will keep supporting. I'd like to hang around, and the main event's going to be a great fight, ladies and gentlemen. So be prepared for a war. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm McDonald's coach. I'd just like to congratulate Commonwealth champion. He put up an incredible fight. We were training for him to be a boxer. We're blown away that he could kick so good. Congratulations.
He's a great sport, this trainer, this Canadian.
He seems as happy as hell that his boy survived 10 rounds. I can't believe it. Well, there's the card. Kash, the Flash Gill from the UK, and of course Alex Toohey from Australia. Middleweight title Here we go. Well, I tell you what, I think Alex Toohey is going to need both arms and both legs to take this way. 70 kilos of fighting machine, 28 fights, 26 wins, but look at the KOs. 19 before the rounds have finished.
As you notice with those KOs, the KO rate has picked up in recent fights.
This is obviously warming to the task. Now you're going to see the size difference between these two boys.
This guy is he's a telegraph pole, mate. As I said before, he's a giant.
71.3 kilos. He's had 33 fights, 27 wins, 9 KOs. So not a good KO record in the true sense of the word compared to Toohey. But he's going to have to really work hard tonight for this. Of course, he hasn't come all the way from the UK to go home empty-handed, or for that matter, to leave his belt here.
Well, judging by the way he's dressed too, mate, he's a no-frills boxer, fighter.
Back to basics, back to basics, mate. Back to basics, and I like to see that. I'm not in for this vibrant colours and so forth. I like the back-to-basic fighters. Once again, no shin guards for these boys, foot guards only. The foot pads are in vogue. Alex in the Australian colours, the green and gold. They finally cleared the ring. Now, Toohey has to get in close. He cannot stay away, and by the same token, Gill has to keep Toohey away and use the reach advantage that he does have.
You've hit the nail on the head. The tactics Alex has to use. He has to move in close, thus nullifying Gill's kicks, and Gill has to keep him away with those long legs of his.
Well, there's a foot difference in height.
He's
Touch of the
giant.
glove. And away they go straight into it. And I know what Toohey's fighting style's like, Greg. He comes straight out and he won't hold back. There'll be no stalling tactics. There'll be no feeling out. It'll just be, let's get in there and let's get it on.
One way, straight ahead.
He wants that title. I know I had a sit-in with him the other day. I wasn't actually talking to him. I was just listening to him speak amongst his group of friends and his trainers. And his approach to this is, tagged him with a left, straight through the guard.
Because he has to reach up quite high there too, the belt one in.
Yeah, you might have to jump a couple of times just to punch him in the face.
Look at this, Alex is coming around with those big left haymakers too, and they're colliding with Kash Gill's head.
Nearly a slip from Toohey, but he gains his footing. All right, now one slip there from Gill. Still very slippery on there. Toohey so far been able to avoid that jab. Gill's not getting that jab going. He's got to get that jab out there. Now, they've met one another before. Now, this is once again this crab style of defence. We saw McDonald use it against Barker. Now, Gill's prepared to use it against Toohey again. Now, those left and rights got through Toohey's defence, landed flush on the chin. Oh, he pulled him across the ring there. The referee's going to have to watch that. Lefts and rights coming down, a good kick. Knocked his feet away from underneath him.
He's swept his legs right out from underneath him. That's a big, powerful kick.
Good left there from
Alex Toohey.
Gill, so... we're looking at a war of attrition, as you call it, mate, and believe you me, these two fellas are going to earn their paychecks at the end of the day.
Alex Toohey's you couldn't be a fitter fighter. You're not looking at a fitter fighter than this guy.
I still don't like Gill's tactics. His head's leaning forward. He's not standing back and using his full height. It amazes me why he doesn't use that full height advantage and give another 4 inches of room between him and Toohey. And that means Toohey's got to come another 4 inches closer to get in.
Maybe Gill's a little...
big left and right, and that's put Alex backwards. Is he going to call that a slip? I was very close on that one there. I would have liked to have had a look at that again, but very close. It was a good left and right combination from Gill. Look when his legs stick out from sitting on the stool. They should bring in a bigger stool for the man. Poor little bugger, he's got to sit on a kindergarten stool when he's a high school student. Eh?
His 2 feet sitting in that Powers insignia. And then moving out for round 2.
Alex keen to get on with it, straight into the centre. Watch Toohey, he'll come straight at him. He won't stop. Look, straight in, bang. Tries with that left kick. Right, left. Lefts and rights from Toohey. He's going to get hit if he goes in there like that. Gill's good. Two boys are working at it very hard.
Toohey's got great defence. Toohey's, when he does that right kick, he puts his head down. Don't put your head down.
Yeah, he's got to keep that head up.
Because he's got a beautiful left thrusting jab there. Because Gill grabbing Toohey, and the referee steps in.
Gill's changed from that crab style of defence. Toohey nearly went over the ropes then. Oh, lefts and rights from Toohey. These boys are going to trade punches. Gill doesn't like the way that Toohey's coming at him. Whoops, hang on, get my foot off the rope, he says. And Toohey straight in. But you think Gill would get that jab going and just keep him away?
I think Toohey's a little bit too fast for him this time. And looks shaping up to be an entirely different fight from the first time these guys met.
Two boys now working into one another.
This is Alex Toohey stalking his prey. Here he dropping his head again, and of course Kash Gill getting out of the way quite easily.
Mate, excuse me, the dust in the joint's just getting to me. Oh, the two fellas exchanging it back in centre ring.
Nice big rip to the body by Alex Toohey. Oh, that was a nice
wasted energy, left himself open. Toohey came straight in looking for the gap, and there was a gap there.
There was a gap, but Kash Gill got up there with that side kick and stopped Toohey in his tracks. Alex Toohey so far fighting the right fight.
Absolutely. And I'm just starting to know a little bit of fatigue coming into Gill. You notice the end of that round there, the kicks weren't as punchy, they weren't as exact as they had been earlier on in the fight. And we're only 3 rounds into a 10-rounder. 10 2-minute rounds, 1 minute break in between. We come out now for round 3. This is going to be tough. They're fanning him down. That's a new way of blowing on your chips. You see that? The towel. I like that. That's something new. Something new. Well, Toohey straight back out to the centre of the ring. He's trying to work him into a corner, cut the ring down.
Toohey's recent records put him in the right frame of mind for this encounter with Gill. He's moving in beautifully.
Yeah, absolutely. He's taking a bit of gloves, but a bit of puffiness around Alex's face, so he's obviously worn a few in the first 2 rounds. But now the exchanges. This is what we like to see, folks. This is two boys that are well-conditioned, well-trained, and this is definitely a world title fight. Gill continues to crouch, and I'm against that approach to this fight. He's coming down to Toohey when he should be making Toohey punch up to him. Oh, good uppercut. Oh, that hurt too. Gill's had to back away and regather himself a little here. Toohey sneaks a right in through the guard.
Toohey's crowding Gill. Gill's finding it very difficult to throw his punches and his kicks.
We haven't seen too many kicks.
Oh, there's a big kick from...
just as I was about to say, we haven't seen too many kicks, and straight away we get one.
Of course, he lifted that leg up. It was only up to his waist, and he belted Toohey in the head.
Very entitled right over the top of us right at the moment, but these two boys are pushes Toohey away. Now, they're into Toohey's corner now. Toohey will just try... comes with a big right uppercut. That's the second time that punch has come in, and we might have ourselves a count. Have we? No, he's going to call it a slip. Crowd was up on its feet then. Oh, left. Snuck the left through, left and right. Oh, this is definitely Toohey's round. Definitely Toohey's round. I would have given the first 2 to the champion, but I think Toohey's coming on now.
Toohey's found his feet. And of course, looks like he's found his fist. See, look, he's moving in on Gill, and he's crowding Gill. And Gill is just not moving as freely as he was in those early stages of the fight.
Okay, here we come out, round 4.
Gill letting Toohey move in. He's not using his reach at all, Will.
Left again. Over the top right. Gill missing with his lefts. McDonald's trainer there just in the background, sitting right beside the ring and watching this with a lot of intensity. He'll be going home and telling his boys just how well this Alex Toohey fights. Oh, big kick to the solar plexus. Toohey wore that, comes straight after Gill.
As Gill is the champion, he's got those championship qualities about him. He can come out with something special to get himself out of trouble. Round roundhouse kick by Alex Toohey. And coming in with a fist.
That left too. That left him working very well for Toohey. Oh, he nearly knocked Toohey off his feet there. Short left kick.
Oh, there's that uppercut by Toohey. Of course, Gill comes back with that front kick. Does it so easily, Gill, with that front kick. Just lifts his leg up and belts it out. He's got such long legs. But Toohey comes back again, moving with those left and rights, and he misses and slips.
Oh, Alex is in a bit of distress then.
The referee should step in here because that was a definite slip. But Alex is strong. He'll come back, hopefully.
Oh, good right over the top of the guard of Gill. This is the crowd's on its feet.
Alex Toohey looking a little tired.
Yeah, definitely so. Both fighters are tired.
A worthy main event too.
Deserved of the top billing and deserved of the world title fight. A little bit of compression work going on the nose there of Toohey and under the left eye. Well, as we said in round 3, a little bit of puffiness was forming under the eye, and they had to do the work, as we called it, in the corner then on the eye and the nose area. A little bit of concern with that. Kash Gill getting a final wipe down. The ref wasn't happy with the amount of moisture on the upper body. Out they come now as we start round 5. This is one hell of a fight. Greg, these two boys are definitely earning their paycheck.
A great blue, mate.
Mate, I can honestly say to you, either one of these fellows could hit the canvas at any time.
Well, they both looked tired last round, and of course, but they both come out with these incredible techniques, these big haymakers, and of course, if any one of those hit, they could put the other guy out for the night.
Well, Toohey looked out on his feet at completion of round 5, and he's come straight back out in round 6, and he's straight back into it again. Misses with the uppercut. He's getting kicked away in the shin area, but he just stands there and keeps throwing gloves.
That's how fit these guys are. They can come back after being absolutely exhausted. Their recovery is incredible.
Big left snuck right through. Gill's got to back up here and grab a bit of time because that hurt. That hurt. He is definitely hurt, Gill. Now his corner's yelling at him to pick us up, pick it up, keep control of this fight. The champion is in a little bit of distress. Toohey's guard very low. Toohey wants to get that guard up. You can still see Gill's guard is much higher than Toohey's. Toohey's fighting with that low guard. But he snuck lefts and rights and a big right uppercut right on the chin. Greg, this could end at any stage or it could go the distance. You just don't know with these two boys.
A seesawing battle going on in the ring here. Of course, Alex Toohey looking the better at the present.
Oh, snapped Alex's head back. Right from Gill was beautiful. Oh, he's giving him a good front kick and that's got to be a knockdown. Nope, says no way.
No, he just ran into his foot. Of
yeah,
course, he
and look at Alex Toohey, nearly jumped on top of him.
Alex Toohey sensing a kill here, mate.
Oh, the excitement inside the place, mate. You can feel this crowd. The energy coming from the crowd has got to be getting through to these two fighters. They have been going at this hammers and tongs. Good name for a Chinese restaurant, mate. Man, I tell you. Yeah. Oh, look, he turned around and he didn't know what to do, Alex. He was that buggered he couldn't turn back around. Completion of the round. And these two boys will definitely earn their seat.
We're up to round 6.
Round 6 is about to start, mate, and I would have to score this 3-2 in favour of Toohey at the moment.
Toohey's been more the aggressor, of course. A seesawing battle. That last round I would give to Alex Toohey. Kash Gill.
Oh, left and right, snuck through Gill's guard into the corner. But once again, Gill uses that height to get out of the rope, out of the corner and back away from them ropes.
With Alex Toohey, Gill can't get away from that jab by Alex Toohey.
Alex cuts the ring down very, very well, doesn't he?
Alex, the better of the two in the hand area. Gill, of course, with his long legs, he should be using his legs a whole lot more, but he's not. He's trying to mix it with Alex Toohey. He's coming off second best when he does.
Little mistake, left and right from Toohey, chases him across the ring into the neutral corner. Gill now drops his guard. Toohey cops a few lefts and rights. Referee steps in. I don't know what for. What's the problem
Time
here?
out. Oh, there's the glove.
A very minor point. I tell you what, I think that was in definitely in the favour of Gill there. No, the referee says we've fixed it straight away. Out they come, Toohey straight to the centre of the ring too. The two boys are working very hard now. Heart rates would be very high and they'd be very, very tired fellas.
Mate, heart rates, the whole crowd's heart rates, their hearts are jumping out of their mouths.
Finally, the camera boys get something to shoot. Oh, left. big left from Tui. Snuck it right over the top of the guard, but then Gill comes back. Oh, haymaker from Tui. All the court was there. The kicks have gone by the wayside at the moment. It's a glove fight.
Gill, watch out for that Alex Tui uppercut, that right uppercut. It's dynamite.
Right over the top. Left.
That big left, catching Gill fair on the chin.
Tui is off the ground with body weight in momentum as he throws those punches. Big right.
A jumping right.
He's got the champion on the ropes. The champion is really going to find out how big a champion he really is at this point in time.
How big is this champion's heart? Of course, all champions have big hearts, but how big is this guy?
Lefts again through. Alex Tui is looking very tired. He loses his balance and he sort of wonders, how am I going to keep it all together?
Alex Tui looks tired, but he's still strong.
Come out with a haymaker. Push. Definite push. Sends him to the neutral corner. Tui will use this to his advantage to gain some extra breathing space. Bell sounds. Completion of round 6. Mate, we've still got 4 rounds to go. As I said to you, either of these fighters could go out in the stretcher.
A seesaw, mate.
Absolutely. Good way to call it. Okay, here we come. Round 7. Tui straight back out like the little bull terrier he is.
Tui covers up and then let's go with that big right.
He's also kicking well still. Oh, I thought he nearly dropped him then.
See the size difference here. You get a good look at it here. Because Alex Tui has to do a whole lot of
Tui's
breathing.
chest is up at about Gill's waist. That gives you a fair indication of the way it is. But the big fella, when he does go with a front kick, he leaves himself open. Now, what's the call again? This referee is very pedantic about the taping of these gloves. He's not happy. The moisture this time, the amount of moisture on Gill's body is a concern. He's saying there's too much.
All night, the boxers have been, the fighters have been falling over with the great idea.
Right, and another big right. 2 big rights in a row. That's really sought Gill out, but he stands like a colossus.
Alex Tui misses with a huge right.
Darryl Eastlakes is somewhere out there in the crowd, mate. He'll love you for saying that. As the boys work it in now as they come around. Oh, look, this has just got right out of hand. These two fellas have lost their technique at the moment. They're going for haymakers.
It's a brawl.
Now, here comes Gill. Lefts and rights. Tries with the right kick. Gill still working, finding the range now. He's got Tui in the corner. Tui is going to have to get out of this neutral corner. Lefts and right, he's ducking and weaving. Any minute too, he's got to go down to the canvas, you'd think, but no, the little fella says, not me. I think Gill's punched himself out.
I think they've both punched themselves out.
Tui's just staying on his feet, that left eye's puffing up.
Tui's being very evasive anyway. A lot of these kicks, there we go, that big uppercut from
dropped
Tui.
the left right on the chin. Now a little pace has gone off the fight at the moment.
And there's that left again from Alex.
Tries that over the top right again, just doesn't connect.
Who is going to win, mate?
Mate, I got to stay with the hometown boy, but I tell you what, as I said, I wouldn't want to put any money on it. I wouldn't even put 50 cents on it. Either of these two fighters will walk away with the title tonight. No matter the outcome, there must be a third fight. No matter the outcome, as we complete round 6.
Well, they're obviously very, very evenly matched, these guys. It's been a seesaw all day.
I've been calling this a 10-rounder, and I should point out it's a 12-rounder.
12-rounder.
So I had made a mistake in my calling her there.
Well, that is good news anyway, isn't it?
Yes. You think that they have finally reached the halfway point. Well, our ladies of the ring have lost a bit of their punch. They've lost a little bit of the vocalness of the crowd because this fight has been sensational. 7 rounds down. We're looking at round 8 now. We're looking at a big round 8. A little bit of sound effects there. Well, here we go. Now, I don't know if this fight's going to change in style. Greg, these two boys.
Well, it would be a shame if it did, mate.
Yes. They've earned the crowd's respect tonight, both fighters.
So Alex has to watch that. Every time he throws that right turning kick, he drops his head. Because so far Kash Gill hasn't been able to lay one on him.
Look, I cannot understand this referee. As far as I'm concerned, he's had a number of opportunities to fix that tape. He should have been in the corner between rounds and organising it. They've slowed. Oh, lefts and rights from Tui. He wore them right on the chin, mate. You could see the facial expression change.
Kash Gill, one tough customer.
Taking a hell of a punishment tonight.
Alex Tui covers up very well, drops his elbows, and of course makes it very difficult to put a kick in or a punch in.
Still a split decision this at the moment. It's gone. It's an either way situation.
Mate, I can't pick it.
Either way situation. I would have to say that if it goes this way for the rest of the fight, the champion would get the nod. Would that be...
Well, as we were saying before, I mean, if you're the challenger, you have to do something special to...
You've got to take a little bit more out of it. The champion has that legacy of being the champion. And the pace has just gone off here at the moment. In the 8th round. It's obviously the first 7 rounds have caught up with these fighters.
Yes, maybe they're having a rest for a big one in the 9th. Oh, I think the crowd needs a rest.
Oh, lefts and rights. Oh, he snuck those. Geez, he's done well with those combinations.
He moves them well. When he gets in close, Alex Tui, he just gets those hands moving.
Absolutely. I think Gill's in a bit of trouble here. He's going to have to get off that rope. He's hanging on for grim life.
Showing his experience there, grabbing Alex Tui.
37 fights of experience, but Tui is now working well into Gill. And Gill, as we complete... Oh, a little one after the bell. This is one hell of a fight, Greg, and I think you've got to split it 4 apiece at the moment.
Well, that round was indicative of the whole fight, and you don't know who's going to win. It started off slowly, and then these guys ended up with a huge flurry.
Well, 9 of 12. This is round 9 of 12, scheduled for 12, 2-minute rounds. Then goes that moisture, and this is half the problem of this slipping on the canvas. The excessive amount of spray that's been used on these fighters is just dripping down onto the canvas, and bingo. Seconds are out of the ring now. They're finally taping up that left glove, which has caused the problems throughout the last 3 rounds. No more compress work on Tui's eye. They're quite happy with that. He's just told him to hang on a minute. He's got the seconds out of the ring. Ref brings him to the centre. Here we go for round 9. And let's see if Tui can maybe stem the flow here and do something special to bring this title to the Australian shores. Well, into the neutral corner. Tui's out like normal. Quick on top of him.
Tui, the challenger, has to do something special.
Now Gill just hanging on. Tui working the body, trying to take the wind out of Gill's sails. The referee breaks him.
When they get in close,
that hurt. That was a good kick. That actually hurt. Hit him around the kidney area, and that hurt very much so on Gill. Hurt him very much so. All right, Gill seems to be in a bit of distress here at the moment. He hasn't thrown much leather at all.
Falling right into Alex Tui's hands at the present time. When they get in close, it's more to Alex's advantage. There we go. Long distance throw from Alex Tui. Comes back beautifully with that left.
Whoops, hang on. Get my leg in the ring, he says. I've got to keep it inside, don't I? Oh, Gill just drops that left kick, front kick forward. Keeps that left leg up. Right over the top.
There's Alex moving in again, crowding Gill. And of course, it makes it very difficult.
Good right.
Right and left.
Well, both fighters have fatigue, mate. Fatigue on both those fighters, but that was a very strong right from Alex Tui, and that hurt Kash Gill. As Alex Tui comes in and says, "I'll hug you, honey." No.
We've got to stop meeting like this.
Yeah,
mate.
Absolutely. Especially when the lights are on. Well, here we go. Both fighters are fatigued. There's a haymaker! Oh, for sure, out of the ring. He's going to take a lot to get up. He's going to need to be every bit of a world champion to get up. Tui in the neutral corner. Kash Gill on one leg. He's up on both. Nah, ref says no way, Jose. Greg, you said it. You needed something special. Well, mate, it's come your way in the form of a big... Look at that right uppercut. Tui comes in close. Comes with another right. And straight out of the ring, but I'd like to raise a point. Did he or did he not hit his head on the outside of the ring when he came down?
Well, looking at that in slow motion, he did seem to crack the back of his head when he went down. He copped a little bit of whiplash there.
What a punch from Tui. He just lifted the big man. Well, we got a world champion.
Another world champion. Sakad Pachendi before. Yep. We've got 2 in Australia now.
Australia starting to come to the front line once again. As up go the hands, but Tui, he looks tired, mate. He's worked very hard here at the State Sports Centre. He is still tired. as his supporters raise him up to the crowd. The crowd is absolutely applauding this man. But you've got to give it to Kash Gill. He definitely fought like a champion. He wasn't going to take a backward step. Mate, a great fight card tonight we've seen. 6 bouts in all. We saw Barker take a very lacklustre fight previous to this one. We saw a super kicker in the form of Steve Vick. And now we've seen most probably a man that's going to hold on to a title for a long, long time, Alex Toohey. Any thoughts before we sign off?
Well, it's just been a great night's kickboxing, and it's been a pleasure calling with you, and it's been a pleasure being here, and I hope everyone out there and, of course, in the crowd here has enjoyed themselves as much as I have.
Well, from my co-commentator, Greg Wiley, from myself, Mike Gill, and from the State Homebush Sports Centre, we bid you good night. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.